The holiday season was a roller coaster of emotions for Nolan, who had lost his beloved dog Baxter on Christmas Eve. After days of searching and hoping, a miracle happened. Baxter was found and returned to him, bringing an overwhelming sense of relief and joy. But as Nolan held Baxter close, something odd caught his eye. Upon closer inspection, Nolan noticed a strange mark on Baxter's neck, one that was never there before. Nolan could not help but feel like he was caught in two minds. On the one hand, he was really happy that he had his beloved dog Baxter back. He had been missing for over a month now, and Nolan was afraid that he would never see the animal again. So the fact that he had the animal in his arms again was almost more than he could have hoped for. But he was really worried about this strange spot in Baxter's neck. He did not have the dog for that long before it disappeared on Christmas Eve, only about half a year. But he knew very well how the animal looked and that this strange spot had not been there before. He had a lot of trouble identifying what it even was. It did not look like a wound or something, and he could not simply rub it off. It was almost like a strange small tattoo or something. But who would do that to a dog, and why? Nolan started to think back to that faithful Christmas Eve when he had lost Baxter. The whole evening had been so odd. He had been home with most of his family, having a great time. Baxter was also there, and there was not like a door or window open for him to escape through. It was wary, too cold for that. And there was nobody that smoked or something and had to go outside for that. But even with all the potential exits closed, Baxter suddenly disappeared. One moment he was there, the next moment he was not. Like the dog had vanished into thin air. When Nolan realized that he had not seen Baxter in a little bit, he and the family started to search the house. Baxter was not a particularly big dog, but they had quickly checked all the spots he could potentially be hidden. They had even started to go around outside and ask neighbors if they had seen the animal, but none of them had. Baxter was gone, and that thought started to sink in more and more for Nolan. The family went home, and he spent the rest of the night making a missing poster. And they would eventually prove to be a success as he was holding Baxter in his arms again. Nolan's heart leapt as he met the woman who had found Baxter. She explained how she stumbled upon him wandering alone, a stark contrast to his month-long absence. "Found him just yesterday," she said, her words sparking a mix of relief and confusion in Nolan. How could Baxter just appear after weeks of despair? The joy of reunion mingled with questions. Where had Baxter been all this time? The woman's tale didn't add up. Baxter had been missing for a month, yet she claimed to have found him only a day ago. Nolan's mind raced. Could someone have taken care of Baxter before he ended up alone? The discrepancy in timelines deepened the mystery of Baxter's disappearance, leaving Nolan grappling with more questions than answers. He thanked the woman, but doubt gnawed at him. As Nolan examined Baxter, a peculiar mark on the dog's neck caught his eye. It was unlike anything he had seen before, neither a scrape nor a natural marking. The strange symbol seemed out of place, etched into Baxter's fur. Nolan's initial joy turned to worry. What was this mark? Who had put it there, and why? The mystery of Baxter's disappearance deepened with this new discovery. Nolan questioned the woman about the mark, but she seemed genuinely unaware. "I didn't notice anything like that," she claimed, her ignorance fueling Nolan's suspicions. Was she hiding something, or was she simply an unknowing participant in this puzzle? Nolan's gratitude for Baxter's return battled with his growing determination to uncover the truth behind the mark and the dog's lost month. Despite Baxter being safely back in his arms, Nolan was haunted by unanswered questions. The strange mark on Baxter's neck and the conflicting stories of his disappearance weighed heavily on him. How had Baxter survived a month alone? And what did the mark signify? Gratitude for Baxter's return mixed with a resolve to solve the mystery, Nolan knew he couldn't rest until he found answers. Nolan meticulously photographed the unusual mark on Baxter's neck, ensuring every detail was captured. With these images, he planned to reach out to experts and scour online resources for any clue that might explain its origin. The digital images on his screen were a stark reminder of the mystery enveloping Baxter's return. Nolan's determination to uncover the truth behind this cryptic symbol grew stronger by the minute. In the days following Baxter's return, Nolan observed a marked change in his behavior. The once lively and playful dog now exhibited an unusual calmness and detachment. This stark contrast to his previous demeanor alarmed Nolan. Concerned for Baxter's well-being, he wondered if this shift was related to the dog's disappearance or the mysterious mark. Baxter's silent stares seemed to hold stories untold, urging Nolan to find answers. Resolved to understand the reasons behind Baxter's changed behavior and the mysterious mark, Nolan scheduled an urgent vet appointment. He also dove into online research, hunting for any leads on sudden behavioral changes in dogs or similar markings. Each click and scroll fueled his hope for answers, drawing him deeper into the enigma of Baxter's lost month. The quest for understanding became Nolan's beacon in the fog of uncertainty. Nolan turned to the power of community for insights, posting detailed images of the mark on various online pet forums and social media groups. He described Baxter's altered behavior, asking if anyone had encountered something similar. The digital world buzzed with potential leads and shared concerns, creating a collective effort to solve the mystery. Nolan's inbox became a hub of theories and support, reflecting the shared bond among pet owners. Among the sea of responses, one message stood out, a pet owner claiming recognition of the peculiar mark. They offered to share more information, providing a glimmer of hope and a possible lead in the murky waters of Baxter's disappearance. Nolan felt a surge of optimism. This could be the breakthrough he needed to piece together the puzzle of the past month and restore Baxter's spirited nature. The mysterious mark on Baxter's neck evolved into Nolan's primary concern, overshadowing even the joy of their reunion. He couldn't shake the feeling that it was somehow linked to Baxter's newfound calmness and detachment. Each glance at the mark deepened his resolve to uncover its origins and significance. It was a silent witness to Baxter's ordeal, holding the keys to understanding the changes in his loyal friend. With Baxter in tow, Nolan visited the vet, hoping for insights into the peculiar mark and Baxter's altered demeanor. He explained the situation in detail, from the disappearance to the mark's discovery and Baxter's behavioral changes. The vet listened intently, understanding the depth of Nolan's concern. Nolan awaited the vet's assessment, hoping for answers that would shed light on the mysteries surrounding Baxter. While awaiting the vet's verdict, Nolan continued his search for answers online. He meticulously compiled information on similar cases, seeking patterns or clues that might explain Baxter's situation. The internet became his investigative tool, a means to connect with others who might have experienced similar puzzles. Each piece of information added to his growing dossier, a testament to his determination to solve the enigma of Baxter's past month. Nolan delved into the world of online forums and pet communities, dissecting responses and analyzing stories from other dog owners. He searched for any mention of similar marks or behavioral changes, piecing together a broader picture from the snippets of information. This digital detective work was slow and painstaking, but Nolan felt driven by a need to understand, to find solidarity with others who shared his confusion and concern. The vet examined Baxter carefully, noting the dog's psychological changes alongside the physical examination of the mark. Unfortunately, the analysis of the mark yielded no definitive answers. It was neither a common symbol nor a recognizable medical issue. However, the vet acknowledged Baxter's psychological changes, suggesting they might be stress-related or a response to trauma. Nolan listened intently, appreciating the insight but realizing he was left with more questions than answers. Despite Baxter receiving a clean bill of health, Nolan couldn't shake off his unease. The vet's inability to explain the mark only intensified his need for answers. Nolan knew that understanding the mark's origin was crucial to uncovering what happened to Baxter during his disappearance. With a resolve hardened by the vet's findings, Nolan prepared to delve deeper into the mystery, determined to uncover the truth behind the strange symbol. The responses to Nolan's posts on pet forums were enlightening, showcasing the strength of community in unraveling mysteries. Fellow pet owners shared their insights, offering support and potential leads. This collective effort provided Nolan with valuable contacts and information, proving that even in the digital age, a sense of community could be a powerful force in solving the most personal of puzzles. Motivated by a lead that seemed promising, Nolan arranged to meet the individual who claimed to recognize the mark. The prospect of gaining first-hand information breathed new life into his investigation. As the meeting approached, Nolan felt a mix of anticipation and apprehension. This could be the breakthrough he needed, or it could lead nowhere. Either way, he was ready to face what came next. In preparation for the meeting, Nolan meticulously organized all the information he had gathered about Baxter's condition and the mysterious mark. He reviewed the photos, the vet's notes, and the conversations from online forums, compiling them into a cohesive dossier. Nolan understood the importance of being thoroughly prepared. This meeting held the potential to unravel the mystery of Baxter's past month. The vet's final assessment offered a small piece of clarity amid the confusion. The mark was made with non-toxic ink. While this revelation did not solve the mystery, it alleviated concerns about potential health risks to Baxter. However, it also deepened the enigma. Why would someone mark Baxter with non-toxic ink? What was the purpose? Nolan's quest for answers had just taken a new, unexpected turn. As Nolan left the vet, his phone rang with a call that reignited his determination. Another dog owner had come forward, their story mirroring Baxter's ordeal. This unexpected connection offered not just solace, but also a new direction for Nolan's quest. The prospect of joining forces with someone who had faced a similar mystery bolstered his resolve. Together, they might uncover the truth behind the enigmatic marks. In meeting the other dog owner, Nolan was struck by the eerie similarities between their stories. Both dogs had vanished without a trace, only to return with the same inexplicable mark. This pattern suggested a deliberate action rather than random occurrences. As they shared their experiences, a larger mystery began to unfold, hinting at a coordinated effort behind the scenes. Nolan realized they were dealing with something far bigger than he had imagined. Together, Nolan and the other owner began the meticulous process of compiling evidence. They gathered photos of the marks, detailed their dog's behavioral changes, and collected testimonies from others who had reached out online. This collective effort transformed their individual concerns into a compelling case, one they hoped would catch the attention of the authorities. Their shared mission was clear: to bring to light the truth hidden in these mysterious marks. Armed with their compiled evidence, Nolan and the other dog owner approached the police, urging them to investigate. The authorities were initially skeptical, but the detailed dossier of photos, behavioral reports, and parallel stories convinced them to take action. The start of an official investigation marked a turning point in Nolan's journey, offering a glimmer of hope that the mystery surrounding the marks might finally be solved. News of the investigation spread quickly among local dog owners, sparking a wave of vigilance within the community. People began to watch over their pets with renewed caution, sharing information and tips to prevent further incidents. This collective awareness created a united front against the unknown threat, highlighting the strength of community in facing adversity. Nolan's efforts had not only launched an investigation, but also galvanized a community to protect its beloved pets. The investigation took a dramatic turn when police identified a suspect with a history of unauthorized animal handling. This development intensified the investigation as the suspect's known activities aligned eerily with the circumstances of the dog's disappearances and markings. Nolan felt a mix of apprehension and hope. They were closer to the truth, but what would it reveal about the fate of Baxter and the other dogs? A critical piece of evidence emerged from surveillance footage obtained from a local park, a common spot where many of the marked dogs were last seen. The video captured a figure behaving suspiciously around dogs, providing the first visual clue linking the suspect to the incidents. This footage became a linchpin in the investigation, offering tangible proof of the suspect's involvement and a lead to follow. As news of the investigation spread, the community's awareness and cooperation surged. The suspect's unusual behavior, documented and shared among local residents, helped rally collective efforts to monitor and report suspicious activities. This communal vigilance supported the police in narrowing their search, creating a network of eyes and ears throughout the neighborhood. Nolan felt a sense of unity and purpose envelop the community, bound by a common goal to protect their pets. The breakthrough came when the suspect was apprehended in the act of attempting to mark another dog. The arrest was the culmination of weeks of investigation, surveillance, and community cooperation. Faced with undeniable evidence, the suspect confessed, unraveling the mystery that had consumed Nolan and the community. Relief and shock rippled through Nolan as he awaited the suspect's explanation, hoping for answers to the questions that had haunted him. In custody, the suspect revealed his motivations, claiming a misguided attempt to improve dog behavior through unauthorized training methods. He saw the marks as a signature of his work, a testament to his intervention. This revelation stunned Nolan. The actions stemmed not from malice, but a deluded sense of benevolence. The complexity of the suspect's rationale left Nolan grappling with a mix of emotions, from anger to pity for the warped logic that led to such drastic actions. The revelations about the suspect's actions sent waves of disbelief and anger through the community. Nolan watched as neighbors and fellow dog owners grappled with the reality of the situation. The audacity of the suspect, who had taken it upon himself to alter the behavior of their beloved pets, was both shocking and infuriating. The community's sense of safety and trust had been violated, leaving a scar that would take time to heal. The unlicensed dog trainer was swiftly brought to justice, facing charges for his unauthorized interventions. This turn of events highlighted the stark consequences of taking matters into one's own hands, particularly when it infringed upon the rights of others and their property. Nolan felt a grim satisfaction in seeing the legal system at work, serving as a reminder that actions have consequences, and the law does not look kindly on such blatant disregard for personal boundaries. Nolan experienced a tumult of emotions as the case reached its conclusion. Relief that the mystery was solved and Baxter was safe at home mixed with outrage over the suspect's actions. He was appalled by the blatant disregard for the rights and emotional well-being of the pet owners. It was a bittersweet moment, acknowledging the resolution but feeling the sting of the suspect's selfish motivations. In the aftermath, the community took time to reflect on the entire ordeal. Conversations turned to the importance of vigilance and the strong bond shared between owners and their pets. Nolan found solace in these discussions, seeing them as a step toward healing and rebuilding trust. The experience had reinforced the value of community support and the need to protect those who cannot speak for themselves. It was a hard-learned lesson in justice and collective responsibility. With the suspect facing the consequences of his actions, Nolan and Baxter slowly began to adjust to their normal lives. The trauma of the past month started to fade into the background, replaced by a renewed sense of peace and appreciation for each other's company. Nolan cherished their moments together more deeply, grateful for their reunion and the community's support. It was a new beginning, filled with hope and the promise of moving forward from the shadows of the past. Nolan found strength in unity as he teamed up with another dog owner affected by the mysterious mark. Together, they pooled their experiences, evidence, and resources, creating a formidable force to support the ongoing police investigation. This collaboration not only bolstered their case, but also provided a sense of solidarity in their quest for justice. Their combined efforts marked a pivotal moment in the investigation, amplifying the call for resolution. As word of the investigation spread, more dog owners emerged with stories echoing those of Nolan and Baxter. These accounts of sudden disappearances, followed by unexplained returns and behavioural changes, painted a clear pattern of targeted incidents. The accumulating stories reinforced the urgency of the situation, highlighting the widespread impact of the suspect's actions. This chorus of voices added depth to the investigation, underlining the need for answers. The community's response to the unfolding investigation was a testament to the power of collective action. Residents banded together, sharing leads, surveillance footage, and personal anecdotes that might aid in tracking down the suspect. This grassroots support system played a crucial role in the investigation, providing valuable insights and reinforcing the communal resolve to protect their beloved pets. The shared commitment to justice brought the community closer, uniting them against a common adversary. The evidence compiled by Nolan, other dog owners, and the community became instrumental in the investigation. Photos of the markings, detailed vet reports outlining the behavioural changes, and timelines of the disappearances coalesced into a compelling body of proof. This meticulously gathered evidence allowed law enforcement to piece together the suspect's modus operandi, bringing clarity to the case and highlighting the extent of the suspect's activities. Armed with the comprehensive evidence provided by Nolan and the community, the police were able to refine their search for the suspect. Each piece of information added to the puzzle, allowing investigators to draw connections and identify patterns in the suspect's behaviour. This targeted approach led to significant breakthroughs, propelling the investigation forward. With a clearer picture of the suspect's actions, the police moved closer to apprehending the individual responsible for the distress and turmoil within the community. The discovery of more dogs bearing the same mysterious markings confirmed the issue's extensive reach, sparking alarm throughout the community. The realization that this was not an isolated incident but a widespread problem intensified the urgency for a resolution. Concern spread as pet owners checked their animals for signs of the mark, leading to a heightened state of vigilance. The community's unease grew, knowing the culprit was still at large. The investigation's focus narrowed to a suspect known for prior unauthorized animal handling, a breakthrough that offered hope for answers. This individual's history provided critical context for their actions, making the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. As law enforcement closed in, the community awaited with bated breath, hoping the long-awaited resolution was near. The suspect's impending capture promised to unveil the motivations behind the mysterious markings. Critical surveillance footage from a key location became the linchpin in the investigation, capturing undeniable evidence of the suspect's involvement. This footage, showing the suspect in the act, enabled law enforcement to secure a warrant for their arrest. The community watched as the case took a decisive turn, hopeful that justice would soon be served. The moment of truth had arrived, signalling the beginning of the end for the suspect's spree. The suspect's arrest brought a complex mix of emotions to the forefront. Relief that the perpetrator had been caught mingled with anxiety over the forthcoming revelations. Questions loomed large. Why were these dogs targeted? What was the suspect's end goal? The community found itself on edge, caught between the desire for justice and the apprehension of learning the full extent of the suspect's actions. The wait for answers was tense, filled with anticipation and hope for closure. In custody, the suspect's confession laid bare the twisted rationale behind the markings. Claiming to train dogs without their owner's consent, the suspect believed he was providing a service, improving the pet's behaviour. This revelation shocked Nolan and the community, confronting them with the unsettling reality of the suspect's misguided intentions. The confession, while answering many questions, also opened up new avenues of concern regarding consent, animal rights, and the ethics of pet training. The suspect's startling confession reverberated throughout the community, leaving many to grapple with his perplexing logic. How could someone justify taking pets and marking them under the guise of unsolicited training? The rationale was beyond comprehension for pet owners like Nolan, who struggled to reconcile the suspect's actions with the love and care they felt for their animals. The community's sense of security was deeply shaken, prompting a re-evaluation of trust and safety for their beloved pets. As more details emerged about the suspect's past and his unlicensed dog training practices, the depth of his delusion became apparent. It was revealed that he had been a contentious figure in the animal welfare community, known for his unconventional and unsanctioned methods. This background added layers to the narrative, painting a picture of a man whose passion for animals was misguided by a lack of professional boundaries and ethical standards, complicating the community's perception of him. The commencement of legal proceedings against the suspect marked a critical juncture in the case. The community watched with bated breath as the justice system took the reins, hopeful for a verdict that would reflect the gravity of the suspect's actions. Nolan, along with other affected dog owners, found some solace in the legal process, seeing it as a step towards closure and justice for the unwarranted intrusion into their lives and the lives of their pets. In the wake of the investigation, Nolan found himself reflecting on the crucial role of vigilance and community support. The ordeal had underscored the importance of being attentive to one's surroundings and the well-being of one's pets. It also highlighted the strength found in communal efforts to protect and support each other in times of crisis. Nolan recognized that without the collective action of the community and their willingness to speak out, the truth may have never come to light. The ordeal taught the community a valuable lesson in the importance of monitoring their pets and the crucial role of legal recourse in addressing grievances. The incident served as a wake-up call to the necessity of legal protections for pets and their owners against unauthorized interventions. As the community began to heal, there was a collective acknowledgement of the need for continued vigilance and the importance of standing together to advocate for the rights and safety of their beloved animal companions. In the quiet aftermath of the case, the police provided Nolan with a comprehensive explanation of the suspect's methods and motivations. Understanding the why and how brought a semblance of closure to Nolan, soothing some of the turmoil that had churned within him. While questions lingered, this knowledge allowed him to start moving past the confusion and fear, offering a foundation on which to rebuild his sense of security and trust. The community's reaction to the unraveling of the case was a complex tapestry of emotions. Relief that the ordeal was over mingled with outrage over the suspect's brazen actions. Conversations echoed through neighborhood gatherings and online forums, reflecting a collective processing of the events. This mixture of feelings underscored a shared determination to ensure such a breach of trust and safety would never happen again, bonding the community tighter in its wake. The incident catalyzed a new awareness among Nolan and his fellow dog owners. A commitment to the safety and well-being of their pets took on new significance, fostering a communal spirit dedicated to vigilance and support. Educational initiatives on pet safety and the importance of a supportive community network flourished, reinforcing the bonds between neighbors. This collective awakening served as a silver lining, drawing the community closer in their shared love for their pets. As the legal system took over the case, Nolan and Baxter embarked on their journey of healing. The process of returning to normalcy was gradual, filled with moments of reflection and growth. Nolan found solace in the routine of daily walks and playtime, each day easing the shadows of the past. The prospect of justice being served offered a comforting backdrop to their recovery, allowing them to focus on rebuilding the simple joys of their companionship. The ordeal had deepened the bond between Nolan and Baxter, imbuing their relationship with a new depth of appreciation and understanding. Nolan found himself cherishing every moment with Baxter, grateful for their reunion and the resilience they had shown. The lessons learned from the experience of vigilance, community support, and the unbreakable bond between a pet and its owner had not only restored their connection, but had made it stronger than ever. The truth finally came to light. The suspect was an aspiring dog trainer who had taken drastic measures to apply his theories, believing he was aiding the community. His admission to kidnapping and marking dogs as a way to test and prove his training methods was startling. Nolan, while relieved to have the mystery solved, grappled with the realization that the suspect's intentions, though misguided, stemmed from a desire to help. Nolan discovered that the suspect had used the markings as a means to track the effectiveness of his unsanctioned training sessions. This revelation painted a complex picture of a man driven by a flawed belief in his ability to improve dog behavior without the consent or knowledge of the owners. Nolan's understanding of the situation deepened, recognizing the fine line between passion and obsession, and how easily the former can be twisted into the latter. As the suspect faced the legal consequences of his actions, the gravity of taking the law into one's hands became glaringly apparent. The case highlighted the serious implications of acting on personal convictions without regard for legal boundaries or ethical standards. Nolan and the community watched closely as the proceedings unfolded, hoping for a resolution that would serve as a deterrent to others who might consider similar actions, emphasizing the importance of lawful conduct. In the aftermath of the investigation, the community embarked on a path to healing. Nolan stepped up as a vocal advocate for pet safety and community vigilance, using his experience to educate others. Workshops, awareness campaigns and neighborhood watch programs flourished, driven by a collective desire to prevent such incidents from happening again. The ordeal had brought the community closer, fostering a shared commitment to the welfare of their pets and each other. Nolan's journey through despair, investigation, and eventual resolution was a testament to resilience, community strength, and the profound bond between humans and their pets. His experience underscored the importance of unity in the face of adversity and the power of collective action. As Nolan looked back on the ordeal, he realized it had not only brought him closer to Baxter, but had also strengthened the fabric of the community, leaving a lasting legacy of vigilance and care.